As a child, I grew up going to the Catholic Church with my mom, and my mom was very dedicated to raising us in the faith, and she took us to Mass every week. I think my relationship with God at that time was about being a good girl and doing the right thing, doing everything by the book, and that certainly helped me stay out of a lot of harm's way. But I would say I really hadn't developed an authentic relationship with Christ or with the Father at that time. I was vacationing with Travis and Gavin and some friends in near Lake Lure, North Carolina, which is just a beautiful place. It has mountains and it's green and the wildflowers were blooming, and there was this really crisp, cool air in the morning. It was very dewy, and I can just smell the smells now too of that morning. That was an amazing morning. And it doesn't seem to be a coincidence that my surrender to God came during a run. There have been several impactful moments in my life that had to do with running. I think even at one point in the run, I had just kind of stretched my arms out. It was so beautiful. And I kind of took a deep breath, in a sense, and I was starting to, I guess, pray. I was starting to talk to God, and I said, yeah, you know, I know you're there. I know it, and I know I haven't been doing the right thing, and I know I need to be with you, and I feel you, and God, you know, I just want you to use me. And so there was a moment in which I was just like, I give up, you know, I know you're there. And I just really had a sense that God spoke back to me that day, and the message was, I'm preparing you. And so I don't really have an answer to what that is yet, but I think in a lot of ways God's been preparing me since then for different things. I guess I thought it might be one big thing. But in a sense, I've seen ways that God has prepared me for all sorts of little things. We had decided around that time to start trying to have another baby. And we had Gavin so easily that we kind of thought it would be like, okay, we're ready to have a baby. Yeah, we're going to have a baby. And it didn't happen like that, it was confusing, but we now had a God we could turn to who we knew would answer our prayers. Maybe we weren't sure what way he would answer them, but we knew he had a plan for us. We opened up our struggle to our life group at first, and they began praying with us, and just a lot of encouragement, a lot of scripture was given to us around that time. And I really believe that our life group committed to praying for us, for our family to grow as much as we wanted it. They had a complete heart for that too. We found out about 6 weeks into the pregnancy I was very sick, and the same people were joining us in prayer about that. I was actually scared that I might be losing the baby. And so all those faithful friends prayed for us during that time too. And I was so sick that I got an early ultrasound. He gave us 2 babies instead of 1, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, I think it's multiple times a day that, you know, I'm just staring at their faces or just rubbing up against their little heads, and it just reminds me of God all day long. And you know, having 2 has been a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, but I think a lot of that has to do with I'm connected with God, and so I pray a lot over the course of a day, you know, what to do when 2 of them are crying in the car seats, you know, and it's amazing. I mean, God comes through even on those littlest of things.